The European Commission has approved the regional aid map of Poland for the granting of regional aid from January 1st, 2022 to December 31st, 27 on the basis of the revised regional aid guidelines. The new RAG, adopted by the Commission on April 19th, will enter into force on January 1st. They allow member states to help the most deprived areas of Europe catch up and reduce disparities in economic well-being, income and unemployment. These cohesion objectives are a key concern of the Union. With a view to environmental and digital change, they offer member states more opportunities to support areas facing transition or structural challenges such as population decline. At the same time, the revised RAG maintain robust safeguards to prevent member states from using public funds to relocate jobs from one member state to another. It is imperative that this be prevented in order to preserve fair competition in the internal market. The Polish regional aid map lists the Polish areas that are eligible for regional investment aid. The maximum aid intensities in the respective aid areas are also set out in the map. The aid intensity is the maximum amount that can be granted as state aid per beneficiary, expressed as a percentage of the eligible investment costs. According to the revised regional aid guidelines, areas where 92.9% of the population of Poland live are eligible for regional investment aid. 14 regions or voivodeships, that's Lublin, Subcarpathian, Podlasie, Heiligkreuz, Warmia-Masuria, Lesser Poland, West Pomerania, Lubuschland, Opole, Kujawian-Pomeranian, Lodz, Mazovia, Silesia and Pomerania have a per capita GDP of less than 75% of the EU average to the most deprived areas of the EU. According to Article 107, maximum aid intensities of between 30 and 50% apply to large companies in these so-called A8 areas, depending on their per capita GDP. The Commission has also approved an increase in the maximum aid intensity to 50% for the Siedlecki area, that's part of the Mazovia region, which has a maximum rate of 40%, as the population decline has been relatively high over the last 10 years. Due to their positive economic development, the voivodeship of Greater Poland and Lower Silesia are no longer regarded as A-subsidized areas, but as predefined C-subsidized areas. These are areas eligible under Article 107 that were classified as A areas until 21 and will no longer apply as such in the coming period. There, the maximum aid intensities for large companies are between 15 and 25%, with higher aid intensities in the first half of the period and in the areas bordering on the A regions. All 26 municipalities of the East and West Warsaw regions bordering the Mazovia land region are eligible as non-predefined C8 areas with maximum aid intensities of between 25 and 35%. In all of the above areas, the maximum aid intensities for initial investments with eligible costs of up to 50 million euros can be increased by 10 percentage points for medium-sized enterprises and by 20 percentage points for small enterprises. As soon as Poland has a territorial just transition plan within the meaning of the Just Transition Fund regulation, Poland will have the option of notifying the Commission of an amendment to its regional aid map approved in order to increase the maximum aid intensity in future areas to make a fair transition, which is possible under the revised regional aid guidelines for A regions. I know it's complicated, but I still think you have to know this stuff. There have always been significant regional inequalities in Europe in terms of economic well-being, incomes and unemployment. The regional aid guidelines are intended to promote the economic development of disadvantaged areas in Europe and to maintain a level playing field in the member states. Remember level playing field? The regional aid guidelines set out the conditions under which regional aid can be considered compatible with the internal market and the criteria for determining whether a region fulfills the conditions of Article 107 of the Treaty on the Functioning of the European Union and if it's therefore an A or C8 area. In the annexes to the guidelines, the most disadvantaged areas, the A areas, that means the outermost regions and the regions with a GDP per capita not exceeding 75% of the EU average, as well as the predefined C areas, that means former A-assisted areas and areas with low population density, and those are listed there. The member states can use certain criteria to designate non-predefined C8 areas until their maximum proportion of the population, that's also defined in the annexes of the guidelines, has been exhausted in non-predefined C8 areas. They have to submit the proposal for their regional aid map to the Commission for approval anytime. And I'll see you in my next video. Bis gleich.